Imagine this. It's midnight. A senior gentleman in his late 60s wakes up thirsty pads across his kitchen floor and suddenly his legs give way. He doesn't trip on a rug. He doesn't lose balance because of dizziness. His muscles simply don't respond as though someone pulled the power cord on his body. By the time he reaches the hospital, the doctors are left explaining that what happened wasn't a heart attack, wasn't a stroke, but a silent and progressive erosion of his muscle strength that had been building for years, accelerated by the foods he thought were harmless before bed. This may sound dramatic, but I assure you, as a neurologist working with older adults, I've seen this scene far too often. What's most unsettling is the trigger, not alcohol, not cigarettes, but so-called innocent nighttime snacks. Foods many seniors trust to comfort them at the end of the day are actually robbing their muscles while they sleep. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. And if you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. Let me share a story. Mrs. Lee, a 72-year-old retired teacher, came to my clinic after she fell in her bathroom late at night. She wasn't frail, at least not by appearance. She still walked every morning and even kept up her gardening. But the fall puzzled her. She had no dizziness, no low blood sugar, no stroke. What we uncovered was surprising. Every evening, she rewarded herself with a small bowl of fruit salad, pineapple, grapes, and orange slices, believing it was a healthy choice. She felt virtuous, avoiding cookies and cake. But what she didn't realize was that the fructose from that fruit eaten right before bed was disrupting her muscle repair cycle. Instead of rebuilding her muscles during deep sleep, her body was busy processing sugar. The result: night after night, a quiet erosion of her strength until the fall became inevitable. This is why I call bedtime the silent battlefield for your muscles. During sleep, your body should be repairing, restoring, and fortifying. Growth hormone peaks, proteins, knit broken muscle fibers, and your strength is preserved. But when you add the wrong foods to the mix, those natural cycles are hijacked. Insulin surges, inflammation rises, circulation slows, and muscles that should be healing instead continue to wither. And here's the most unsettling truth. This erosion isn't noticeable day by day. You don't wake up suddenly weaker. Instead, the decline hides behind the ordinary. You need a chair to help you stand, you find it harder to carry groceries, or you avoid stairs without realizing your independence is slowly slipping away. By the time the fall happens, the damage has already been building silently for years. So let me make this clear. What you eat before bed is either your greatest ally or your hidden enemy. Seniors, I am begging you, do not assume that just because a food is labeled healthy, it is safe to eat late at night. The timing matters just as much as the content. And if you think fruit salad was surprising, wait until you hear about the other innocent foods that are silently draining your muscles as you sleep. The first of these might be sitting in your kitchen right now, and it's something millions of seniors reach for almost every night. Let's talk about one of the most common bedtime comforts: sugary snacks. A handful of cookies, a piece of cake, or even a chocolate bar before bed seems small, almost harmless. Many seniors I meet tell me, "Doctor, it's just one cookie, not the whole box." But the truth is, even that one cookie at the wrong time of day can set off a chain reaction inside your body that directly weakens your muscles while you sleep. Here's why: as you age, your insulin response slows down. When you were younger, your body could handle a sugar surge, clear it out, and reset before morning. But after 60, your pancreas and your cells don't work with the same efficiency. Sugar lingers in your bloodstream longer. Instead of fueling recovery, it interrupts it. At night, when growth hormone should be helping muscles rebuild, insulin is forced to stay elevated, keeping your body busy, managing blood sugar rather than repairing tissue. That one cookie is stealing precious hours of muscle restoration. Let me give you an example. Mr. Johnson, 68, came to me complaining of weakness in his thighs. He noticed he could no longer get up from his favorite recliner without pushing on the armrests. He thought it was just aging. When I asked about his routine, he smiled and admitted he had a lifelong ritual: 2 chocolate chip cookies and a glass of milk before bed, a habit he carried from his working days into retirement. He believed it was harmless, even comforting. But his blood work told another story. His fasting glucose was elevated, his nighttime insulin resistant, and his muscle enzymes showed slow repair. Over the years, this nightly ritual contributed to a 15% decline in leg strength, enough to make stairs dangerous and chairs difficult. Science supports what I saw in Mr. Johnson. Studies show that seniors who consume high glycemic foods at night not only experience disrupted sleep, but also impaired protein synthesis in muscle. Why? Because glucose competes for energy that should be directed toward muscle repair. Instead of your body knitting together the microtears from walking, lifting, and daily activity, it's forced into firefighting mode, handling sugar. Think of your muscles like a house that needs repairs every night. Growth hormone and protein are your builders. But when you eat sugar before bed, you're calling the firefighters instead. The builders can't work because the house is filled with smoke. By morning, the repairs are left undone. Do this night after night and slowly the house falls apart. The scary part is how silent this process is. You don't notice the damage immediately. You might even feel comforted, soothed, and ready for sleep after your sweet snack. But the damage compounds invisibly. A stumble on uneven ground, a shaky rise from the sofa, a grip that feels weaker than last month. By the time the signs are obvious, years of muscle erosion have already passed. Now let me ask you, how many nights in the past week have you had a sweet bite before bed? How many times have you reached for candy, ice cream, or chocolate, thinking just a little won't hurt? That quiet voice in your head that excuses the habit is exactly what muscle loss thrives on. Here's the good news. When Mr. Johnson cut out his bedtime cookies and shifted his treat to earlier in the day, within 3 months his morning energy improved. Within 6 months he could stand from his chair without pushing off. It wasn't a miracle, it was simply giving his body back the nighttime it needed for repair. And if you thought sugar was bad, wait until you hear about dairy desserts. Ice cream, pudding, yogurt foods, we often think of as gentle or even nutritious. For seniors, especially before bed, they carry a hidden danger you'll want to know about. Now, let's turn to a food that many seniors consider both comforting and healthy at night: dairy-based desserts. A small bowl of ice cream, a cup of yogurt, or even warm milk before bed often feels like a safe indulgence. After all, dairy provides calcium for bones and protein for muscles, so how could it possibly be harmful? The truth is, when eaten at the wrong time, these very same foods can sabotage your body's natural repair cycle and quietly accelerate muscle loss. Here's why. Dairy proteins are made up of 2 major components, whey and casein. Whey is digested quickly, but casein digests slowly, often lingering in the stomach for hours. You might think that's a good thing. Slow digestion means steady nutrients, right? But at night, especially in older adults, slow digestion interferes with the deep sleep stages, when muscle repair should peak. Instead of focusing on healing, your body is still tied up in the work of breaking down food. Growth hormone, which spikes during early sleep, gets suppressed. This means fewer signals for muscle building and more opportunities for muscle fibers to continue breaking down. Take Mrs. Alvarez, a 70-year-old grandmother who visited my clinic after several weeks of unexplained leg cramps and fatigue. She wasn't diabetic, didn't drink alcohol, and didn't smoke. But she confessed to a nightly ritual, a generous bowl of vanilla ice cream before bed. She said it helped her relax and sleep better. But her symptoms told another story. Her lab results revealed elevated nighttime insulin, sluggish digestion, and disrupted sleep cycles. The casein-heavy ice cream was forcing her digestive system to stay on, while the rest of her body desperately needed repair. Over time, her legs weakened to the point where standing from her garden bench became a challenge. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. But doctor, I've heard athletes drink milk before bed to build muscle. That's true. But here's the difference. Younger athletes have robust digestive systems, faster metabolisms, and naturally higher growth hormone levels. Their bodies can handle the load. For seniors, digestion is slower, hormones are less responsive, and even small interruptions in sleep or repair cycles have magnified consequences. What works for a 25-year-old weightlifter does not work for a 70-year-old retiree. Another hidden problem in dairy desserts is sugar. Yogurts marketed as healthy often contain more sugar than a candy bar. Ice cream combines sugar with fat, creating a metabolic storm right before bedtime. Instead of your muscles recovering, your body is forced to juggle sugar spikes, insulin surges, and heavy digestion. The result: poorer sleep quality, reduced muscle repair, and in some cases, nighttime inflammation that leads to morning stiffness. Think of it this way: your muscles are like a workshop crew that comes in at night to repair damage from the day. They need the lights on, the tools ready, and no distractions. But when you eat dairy desserts late at night, you're cutting the power to the workshop. The crew shows up, but the environment isn't right for them to work. Morning comes and the repairs are left unfinished. So let me ask you, do you ever wake up feeling more tired than when you went to bed, or notice that your legs feel heavy and stiff in the morning? That's often not just old age. It's your body struggling with the load of nighttime digestion, particularly from dairy. Here's the hopeful part. When Mrs. Alvarez cut out her nightly ice cream and instead enjoyed it as a mid-afternoon treat, her cramps eased, her mornings felt lighter, and she regained the strength to tend her garden without fear. She didn't have to give up dairy entirely, she just had to shift the timing. But if dairy desserts surprise you, you'll be even more shocked by the next culprit: late-night bread and pasta. These simple, comforting foods don't just fill your stomach, they quietly drain your strength night after night. Now let's talk about something even more common and far more deceptive: bread and pasta eaten late at night. For many seniors, a slice of toast with jam or a small bowl of noodles feels light, quick, and harmless before bed. Some even believe it helps them sleep, but what seems like a simple comfort food can become one of the most powerful triggers of silent muscle loss. Here's the biology. As we age, our metabolism slows and our sensitivity to insulin declines. Refined carbohydrates like white bread, pasta, or crackers break down rapidly into glucose, flooding the bloodstream with sugar. This forces insulin to surge right before you sleep. But during the night, your body should be focused on releasing growth hormone, repairing tissue, and preserving muscle. When insulin is high, growth hormone is suppressed. Instead of repairing, your body is storing sugar as fat and leaving muscle fibers unrepaired. The result, night after night, your muscle health quietly deteriorates. Let me share a story. Mr. Kim, a 73-year-old retired bus driver, came to my office after a frightening experience. He had slipped on his front step, and though the fall wasn't severe, he couldn't get up without help from his neighbor. He admitted that for years his bedtime ritual was just a little bowl of instant noodles. He said it relaxed him, filled his stomach, and helped him sleep soundly. But when we tested his fasting blood sugar and muscle enzyme markers, the truth was clear: his insulin resistance had worsened significantly, and his muscle breakdown rate was elevated. That small bowl of noodles was keeping his insulin high through the night, robbing his muscles of the repair they needed. Science confirms this. Research shows that late-night carbohydrate consumption leads to impaired muscle protein synthesis, poorer sleep quality, and increased fat accumulation in older adults. Unlike younger people whose bodies can recover from late-night eating, seniors pay a much steeper price. Their muscles, already at risk from sarcopenia, lose critical opportunities for repair. Think of it this way: your muscles are like a library of strength. Every night, you should be returning books to the shelves, rebuilding what you used during the day. But when you eat bread or pasta before bed, it's like the library staff is told to clean up a spill instead. By morning, the shelves are still empty, and the strength you needed restored is missing. What's most dangerous is how invisible this process feels. You don't feel weaker the next morning after your toast or pasta. Instead, the decline is cumulative. One day you find yourself using the railing for stairs or struggling to carry a bag of groceries. You chalk it up to aging, but in truth, the nightly carbs have been chipping away at your foundation for years. So, I want to ask you, have you ever noticed yourself craving bread, crackers, or noodles at night? Do you reach for them because you think they'll help you sleep? If so, know this: what feels like a harmless habit may be the very thing eroding your independence. Here's the good news: when Mr. Kim replaced his late-night noodles with a lighter protein snack in the afternoon instead, his energy improved within weeks. Within 6 months, he regained enough leg strength to walk his neighborhood without stopping. He didn't need medication or surgery, just the right timing of his meals. But if you think refined carbs are sneaky, wait until you hear about the next bedtime trap: salt. Hidden inside those late-night crackers and snacks, sodium may not only raise your blood pressure but also stiffen your muscles and circulation overnight. Now let's uncover another bedtime culprit that most people overlook: salt. Not the salt shaker on your table, but the hidden sodium tucked inside crackers, chips, instant soups, and other light snacks that seniors often reach for at night. These foods may seem small, even harmless, but the way sodium interacts with your aging body makes them especially dangerous for your muscles. Here's the truth: as you age, your kidneys become less efficient at filtering sodium. This means that the salt you eat at night lingers longer in your system. Excess sodium draws water into your blood vessels, raising blood pressure and straining circulation. While you sleep, this fluid shift pulls water into your tissues, leading to morning stiffness, muscle cramps, and even nighttime swelling in the legs. Instead of your muscles resting and repairing, they spend the night in a state of silent tension. Consider the story of Mr. Thompson, a 69-year-old former factory worker who came to me with complaints of nightly leg cramps that woke him from sleep. He described the pain as like my calves were in a vice. At first, he thought it was low potassium or dehydration, but when we dug into his nightly routine, the culprit became clear: a small handful of salted crackers before bed. He laughed when I suggested this could be the problem after all. How could such a tiny snack matter? But his blood pressure was consistently elevated at night, and his electrolyte balance was off. When he cut out the salty crackers, his cramps improved within weeks, and his sleep became deeper and less interrupted. Why does this happen? Because sodium not only strains circulation but also disrupts the delicate balance of electrolytes, potassium, magnesium, and calcium, that muscles need to contract and relax properly. Too much sodium throws off this balance, leading to cramps, weakness, and a reduced ability to recover. For seniors, this is doubly dangerous. Every night of disrupted circulation is a night when muscles cannot repair and strengthen. Think of it like this: your muscles are trying to recharge their batteries overnight. But when excess sodium is in your system, it's like leaving the lights on in the house while trying to recharge your phone. The drain continues and the recharge never completes. By morning, your muscles are only half rested, leaving you weaker than the day before. Now ask yourself, do you wake up with stiff legs or swollen ankles? Do your fingers feel puffy in the morning, or do you notice that your wedding ring feels tighter after certain nights? These are subtle clues that sodium is interfering with your nighttime repair. The good news is that the solution isn't extreme. Seniors like Mr. Thompson didn't need to cut salt from their diets entirely. They just needed to avoid high-sodium snacks before bed. Shifting those crackers or chips to earlier in the day and replacing nighttime cravings with a low-sodium option gave his body the space it needed to heal. But sodium is only one piece of the puzzle. If crackers and chips surprised you, wait until you hear about the next hidden threat: fruit juices before bed. Many seniors believe they're drinking something healthy, but the concentrated sugars in these juices can be just as destructive as candy. Let's move on to something that many seniors trust as healthy, but which can quietly sabotage your muscles overnight: fruit juices before bed. Orange juice, apple juice, grape juice. These drinks are marketed as natural and nourishing. Many of my patients tell me, "Doctor, I don't drink soda, I drink juice instead." But here's the hidden truth. Late at night, fruit juice can be just as damaging to your muscles as candy or soda, sometimes even worse. Why? Fruit juice is essentially concentrated sugar, fructose, delivered without the fiber that whole fruit provides. During the day, your body can handle that sugar better because you're active, burning energy, and your muscles are primed to use glucose. But at night, when you're preparing for sleep, your metabolism slows down. Fructose isn't burned off. Instead, it gets processed by the liver. This puts stress on your system, raises triglycerides, and interferes with the deep repair cycles that your muscles desperately need. Let me give you a story. Mrs. Nakamura, 74, came to me after experiencing frequent nighttime leg weakness. She described it as if her legs lost their spark by morning. She wasn't overweight, she didn't smoke, and she ate relatively balanced meals. But when we looked closely, one detail stood out. Every evening before bed, she drank a tall glass of grape juice, believing it was good for her heart. In reality, the high fructose content was spiking her insulin late at night, disrupting her growth hormone release, and impairing muscle repair. Within months of cutting out nighttime juice, her morning strength improved noticeably, and she even reported being able to climb stairs more easily. The science backs this up. Fructose, unlike glucose, doesn't trigger a strong insulin response immediately, but instead burdens the liver. At night, this process creates metabolic byproducts that fuel inflammation. And for seniors, inflammation is the enemy of muscle. Instead of rebuilding, the muscle fibers remain inflamed and fragile, unable to recover fully from the day's wear and tear. Think of your muscles as a construction site. During the day, you use up your strength like workers using up supplies. At night, your body should deliver fresh materials and let the builders rebuild. But when you drink juice at night, you're not delivering supplies, you're delivering a truckload of sticky, heavy waste that clogs the site. The workers are forced to clean instead of build. By morning, little to no progress has been made. Here's another danger: fruit juice may not even make you feel full, so it tricks you into thinking it's light. But inside your body, it acts like a sugar bomb. Seniors often report waking up groggy or with muscle stiffness after drinking juice at night. This isn't just age, it's your body struggling to recover while managing a sugar load. So let me ask you, have you been choosing juice as your nighttime drink because you thought it was the healthier choice? Do you believe it's safer than soda? If so, you may be unknowingly trading one danger for another. Here's the hopeful part. When Mrs. Nakamura switched her evening juice to water with a slice of lemon, not only did her strength improve, but she also reported sleeping deeper and waking with less stiffness. She didn't need medication or supplements, she simply needed to change the timing and type of her drink. But if you think juice is sneaky, wait until you hear about the next nighttime habit: alcohol. Many seniors believe a glass of wine or whiskey helps them sleep. But in reality, alcohol may be the single most destructive muscle thief of the night. Now we arrive at one of the most deceptive comforts of the evening: alcohol. A glass of wine to unwind, a shot of whiskey to help you sleep, or even a late beer while watching television seems like tradition for many seniors. But I want to warn you, alcohol is not just a poor sleep aid, it is one of the most effective thieves of your muscle strength during the night. Here's the biology. Alcohol interferes with your body's ability to enter deep restorative sleep. It may help you fall asleep quickly, but what follows is fragmented, shallow rest. More importantly, alcohol suppresses the release of growth hormone, the very chemical your body relies on to repair and rebuild muscle tissue during the night. Without growth hormone, your muscles lose their chance to heal from the wear and tear of the day. Over time, this accelerates sarcopenia, the age-related muscle loss that steals independence from so many seniors. Take the story of Mr. Rodriguez, a 71-year-old retired accountant. He came to me because he noticed he was weaker when rising from his chair and complained that his arms felt hollow. He had no major medical conditions, but when I asked about his nightly habits, he smiled and admitted to drinking a glass of wine every evening to relax the nerves. For years, he believed this was harmless, even beneficial for his heart. But his sleep tracker showed poor deep sleep, and his blood work revealed reduced testosterone and growth hormone activity, both critical for muscle preservation. Once he cut out nightly alcohol, within 3 months, he began noticing he could rise from his chair more easily. 6 months later, he was walking faster and reported fewer aches in his legs. Science confirms what I saw in Mr. Rodriguez. Alcohol interferes with protein synthesis, the process by which your body knits new muscle fibers. Even small amounts can shift your hormonal balance, lowering testosterone and blunting growth hormone spikes. This means your body not only fails to rebuild muscle, but may actually break it down faster. And seniors whose bodies already face declining hormone levels suffer the most. Think of it this way: your muscles are like a construction crew repairing your home overnight. Alcohol is like sending in a night inspector who shuts off the power, arguing the workers need rest. But instead of rest, the work stops completely. By morning, no progress has been made, and the home grows weaker with each passing night. Another hidden danger: alcohol dehydrates you. Muscles need hydration to contract and relax effectively. A dehydrated muscle is more prone to cramping, stiffness, and micro-injuries. Combine this with poor repair from suppressed growth hormone, and you've created the perfect storm for weakness. So let me ask you, have you ever told yourself that one drink at night is harmless, even helpful? Do you believe it helps you fall asleep? If so, I urge you to reconsider. The sleep it gives is shallow, and the price it charges your muscle strength is too high. Here's the hopeful part. When Mr. Rodriguez replaced his evening wine with calming herbal tea, not only did his sleep deepen, but his morning energy and strength improved. He didn't need pills, he didn't need fancy supplements, he just needed to remove the silent thief in his nightly routine. And if alcohol shocked you, prepare yourself for the next food: processed meats. Those slices of salami, ham, or hot dogs that many reach for as late-night snacks contain additives that do more than burden your stomach. They directly damage muscle tissue during the very hours you're supposed to be healing. Now let's expose one of the most underestimated threats to your muscles: processed meats eaten late at night. Many seniors reach for a slice of ham, salami, or even a hot dog as a quick and easy snack. It feels light, it doesn't seem like junk food, and it tastes satisfying. But what most people don't realize is that processed meats are filled with nitrates, preservatives, and additives that silently interfere with your muscles' ability to recover while you sleep. Here's why this matters. Your muscles repair themselves at night by building new proteins, but nitrates and other additives found in processed meats increase oxidative stress in your cells. This oxidative stress generates free radicals, tiny sparks of damage that attack the very muscle fibers you are trying to rebuild. Over time, instead of growing stronger, your muscles become weaker, more inflamed, and less capable of repair. Take the case of Mrs. Carter, a 76-year-old widow who came to me complaining of constant morning stiffness. She wasn't overweight, she exercised lightly, and she avoided sweets. On the surface, she was doing everything right. But when we reviewed her meals, one detail stood out. Every night, she ate a few slices of salami with crackers before bed. She said it was her way of avoiding heavier snacks like cookies or cake. Yet her body was telling a different story. Blood tests showed elevated markers of inflammation, and her muscle strength was noticeably declining. When she cut out the nightly processed meat, her morning stiffness eased within weeks, and after 3 months, her grip strength and walking endurance improved. Processed meats also pose another hidden danger: sodium. Most of these products are heavily salted, which not only raises blood pressure but also contributes to fluid retention in the muscles. Instead of being supple and ready to move, muscles feel tight, heavy, and sore. For seniors who already have slower circulation, this added burden can make mornings particularly difficult. And here's something many don't know. The additives in processed meats may actually interfere with mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses of your muscle cells. Without strong mitochondria, your muscles can't produce enough energy to function properly. This is why many seniors who eat processed meats late at night wake up feeling drained, heavy, and weak, even if they slept for 7 or 8 hours. Think of your muscles as a garden. Each night you're supposed to water it, fertilize it, and let it rest so it can grow. But when you eat processed meats, you're pouring toxins into that soil. The garden doesn't thrive, it withers even if you think you've fed it something substantial. Now let me ask you, have you ever reached for a quick slice of deli meat at night, telling yourself it's healthier than chips or ice cream? Did you believe it was a protein boost before bed? If so, you may have been unintentionally poisoning the very muscles you're trying to protect. Here's the hopeful news. When Mrs. Carter swapped her salami for a small handful of unsalted nuts earlier in the evening, her body finally had the chance to heal overnight. Her muscles responded within weeks, proving that small changes can have powerful effects. But if you thought processed meats were harmful, you'll be stunned by the next culprit: caffeine. Hidden in evening tea, chocolate, or even medications, caffeine may seem innocent, but it can secretly rob your muscles of the rest they need most. Now let's talk about a nighttime habit that feels harmless, even comforting, yet can quietly sabotage your strength: caffeine. You probably already know that coffee is stimulating, but many seniors don't realize just how long caffeine lingers in the body. Even an afternoon cup of tea, a piece of dark chocolate after dinner, or certain nighttime pain relievers can contain enough caffeine to disturb your body's recovery. And when recovery is disturbed, your muscles pay the price. Here's what happens. Caffeine blocks adenosine, a chemical that helps your brain feel sleepy. That's why you feel alert after drinking it. But for seniors, caffeine's effects are prolonged. What might clear from a younger person's system in 4 to 6 hours can linger in an older adult's body for 8 to 12 hours. That means the tea or chocolate you enjoy after dinner may still be active at midnight, preventing your body from sinking into deep restorative sleep. Without that deep sleep, your muscles lose their chance to repair, rebuild, and strengthen. Let me share a story. Mrs. Patel, a 70-year-old retired nurse, came to me with concerns about persistent morning weakness. She said she often woke up groggy and stiff even though she went to bed on time. She didn't drink coffee, so she thought caffeine couldn't be the issue. But when I asked about her evening routine, she admitted she drank green tea after dinner and enjoyed a square of dark chocolate before bed. Both seemed healthy and harmless, yet her sleep study showed she spent very little time in deep sleep, the exact stage when muscle repair peaks. When she switched her tea and chocolate to earlier in the day, her sleep deepened, and within 2 months, she noticed her morning energy and leg strength improving. Science supports what Mrs. Patel experienced. Deep sleep is when growth hormone surges, orchestrating the rebuilding of muscle fibers. Caffeine doesn't just delay sleep, it reduces the amount of deep sleep you get. So even if you're in bed for 7 or 8 hours, the quality of that sleep is shallow. For seniors, this is devastating because every lost hour of deep sleep is a lost hour of muscle restoration. Think of your muscles as a repair shop. At night, the workers should come in, turn on the lights, and get to work rebuilding. But caffeine is like a power outage. It keeps the lights dim. The workers can't see well, they move slowly, and only half the repairs get done. By morning, the shop is still broken down, and the damage keeps piling up. The sneakiest part of caffeine is how it hides in unexpected places. Many pain relievers marketed for nighttime headaches still contain caffeine. Even decaf coffee isn't fully caffeine-free. It may still hold enough to disrupt your sleep cycle, and chocolate, beloved by so many, can deliver more caffeine than a cup of tea, especially dark varieties. So let me ask you, do you wake up often at night? Do you feel stiff or weak in the morning despite sleeping for 8 hours? Do you sometimes blame age when in fact it could be a quiet dose of caffeine sabotaging your rest? Here's the hopeful part. When Mrs. Patel cut out caffeine after lunch, her sleep became deeper and her mornings brighter. She didn't need medication, just a shift in timing. Herbal teas, warm milk alternatives, or simple water took the place of her late-night green tea and chocolate, and her muscles finally had the chance to recover. But if caffeine feels sneaky, wait until you hear the conclusion. In our final section, I'll recap the major nighttime foods and habits that rob your strength, and more importantly, I'll give you safe alternatives that allow your muscles to heal, your energy to return, and your independence to remain strong. We've now walked through 9 common foods and habits that seem innocent, even comforting, but which silently erode your muscles while you sleep. Let's pause here and take in the bigger picture. Aging itself already brings natural challenges: slower metabolism, weaker hormone signals reduce circulation. Your muscles are under constant pressure, and when you unknowingly add late-night sugar, dairy, refined carbs, salty snacks, fruit juices, alcohol-processed meats, or caffeine, you're removing the very tools your body needs to fight back. Night after night, your repair cycle is interrupted, and the strength you depend on to walk, stand, and live independently is chipped away. But here's the hopeful truth: knowledge gives you control. Every one of these traps can be avoided, and the benefits of small changes appear far more quickly than most people expect. Seniors in my clinic who adjusted their nighttime habits often reported noticeable improvements in just weeks: better mornings, stronger legs, fewer cramps, steadier balance, all from simply protecting their muscles during the hours when healing should be at its peak. Let me share a vision. Imagine waking up in the morning and rising from your chair without effort. Your legs feel solid, your arms steady. You walk to the kitchen with confidence, not needing to grab the counter for balance. This isn't a fantasy, it's the result of giving your muscles the deep rest and recovery they deserve each night. So, what can you safely choose instead? Here are 6 nighttime-friendly options that actually support your muscles rather than sabotage them. Berries. Blueberries. Raspberries or strawberries are low in sugar, high in antioxidants, and help reduce inflammation. Eaten earlier in the evening, they satisfy sweet cravings without overwhelming your system. Avocado. Packed with potassium and healthy fats. Avocado supports stable blood pressure and muscle relaxation, giving your body a calm environment to recover. Almonds or walnuts. A small handful offers magnesium, protein, and healthy fats that promote deep sleep and steady muscle repair. Greek yogurt, unsweetened, small portion, not too late. If you enjoy dairy plain, Greek yogurt provides protein without the sugar overload. But timing matters, have it 2 to 3 hours before bed. Herbal tea. Chamomile, rooibos, or peppermint teas. Calm the nervous system, reduce stress, and avoid caffeine's harmful disruption. Warm water with lemon. Simple hydrating and cleansing. This gentle ritual supports your body's nighttime balance without taxing digestion. Beyond food choices, timing is just as important. Follow these 3 rules. Eat your last meal 3 hours before bed. Give your body time to digest before deep sleep. Pair carbs with protein or fat earlier in the day. This stabilizes blood sugar and prevents insulin spikes. Never snack right before bed. Allow your hormones to shift naturally toward repair, not digestion. I've seen patients in their 70s and 80s regain surprising strength by making these changes. Mrs. Lee, who once fell after her nightly fruit salad, now enjoys berries earlier in the evening and reports no more late-night weakness. Mr. Johnson, who loved his cookies, shifted his treat to afternoon and regained the ability to stand with ease. Mrs. Patel, who unknowingly drank caffeine in the evening, reclaimed deep sleep and stronger mornings by choosing herbal teas instead. You see, aging doesn't mean surrendering your independence. It means learning the rules your body now lives by respecting them and using them to your advantage. Every choice you make at night can either steal your strength or restore it, and the power is in your hands. So tonight I urge you, protect your muscles. Choose wisely. Give your body the deep healing rest it needs. Tomorrow morning, you'll thank yourself when you rise with steadier legs, stronger arms, and renewed confidence. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another life-changing health tip made just for you. Your muscles, your strength, and your independence are worth protecting. And the journey starts tonight with one simple decision.